What's up? It's your boy K Still with the family.
Man, it's Black Ray. We back for round 2
in Melanated Rhythm. And today, what you want to talk about, man?
Let's talk about respect.
Ooh, that's kind of deep.
Respect, man, it means a lot. You know, respect means a lot, man. There's a lot of people that have lost their lives just due to respect. A lot of people lost jobs. Respect, man, that's like the backbone of everything.
Especially, man, like growing up in this atmosphere, I remember being a little kid. Somebody disrespect you because they disrespecting your mama. You gotta fight. That's like the unwritten rule. Like, hey, player, you're not finna talk bad about my mama. I don't care.
Win, lose, or draw. We don't have to fight.
Man, win, lose, or draw. Listen, man, there was this one situation. This young dude was almost like a cousin, right? So we about the same age. We riding on the light rail one night. You know, Thursday night market back here. I think he was still in the town back then. But Thursday night market is like, it was the one popping spot like in Sacramento. It was always cracking on Thursdays. So we going to get phone numbers, all this other stuff. And we get up there, man, and one of the little homies who was a cousin through marriage kind of deal. He was trying to show out for this big breasted girl on a light rail, right?
Gotta get you smoke.
And listen, man, everybody's family got some kind of issues going on, right? But he's putting my mom business on blast, my family business on blast. And he's like, and then he's saying a couple of untruths. Your mama's on drugs, she's doing this. And I told him, I said, hey fam, you don't know me like that. I said, you've been around for a minute, but be easy. So he kept being rude and disrespectful. And what ended up happening, I said, look, I'm not gonna do a bunch of talking to you. When we get off this light rail, just be prepared to fight. That's it. So he kept cracking jokes, people laughing. I said, all right, I see you, player. And I wasn't even trying to punk him, none of that. I told him, don't be disrespectful. We get off the light rail. I punch him one good time, that nose popped. It looked like it stayed in position. And I remember my cousin was like, kid, you didn't have to hit him that hard, right? And we went around the corner and we fought again. And I beat him up.
Tender nose, man.
So we fought and I walked away with a broken finger and a broken big toe. Because when I slammed him, my shoe came off, and then when I was punching him, I hit him back of the head. So I had to pick and choose where I should hit somebody. But anyways, not to be violent on the disrespect, but I remember that story was funny to me because I think I walked away, he was bruised up, but I was like in more pain. And it was because you disrespected my mama and you disrespected me. And you did it for a female. How many dudes do you know that went to jail, lost their life because of respect, or their idea of respect?
No, man, I mean, for me, man, respect goes a long way.
For sure.
And now that I'm older, I understand, man, words is just words. Words are just emotions, you know, but when you act on those emotions, that's when we have a problem. You say what you want to say about me, my mom, whatever.
Yeah.
Just don't touch it. And don't get past that line, man. Everybody has that line. Yeah. It may be arm's length, it may be fingers length. Just don't get past that line. Once you get past that line and you're in my space, we have a problem. But feel free to say what you like to say. I like to joke. My dad was a comedian. It's in me naturally. So I have no problem. We can joke, talk about mamas, daddies, cousins, uncles, whatever. We can laugh and talk about this all day long. If you know me, you know I talk a bunch of shit.
Talk, absolutely.
I talk a bunch of shit, but when we cool.
Right.
If I don't know you, I'm more so laid back anyway. Especially now in my older age, man, I'm more so laid back. Whenever you see me, I got my headphones on. I'm just bobbing my head. I'm real quiet. A lot of people probably don't even know that I speak.
Yeah.
It's because but I'm in my own zone. I got so much other stuff that I'm thinking about and I'm working on mentally that to just be in everybody else's business is completely beyond. I don't care.
Right.
You know, I don't care. But once you cross once you cross a certain line, then we gonna have a problem, you know, and then that problem can possibly turn into something major, you know. And I will say, I'm willing to die for my respect.
Is that right?
Just on the strength, because I'm not one of those kind of brothers I'm not gonna disrespect you.
Okay.
And I don't have a problem with apologizing if we had a misunderstanding, miscommunication. I've actually gotten into it with some close friends just on the fact that I misread a text message. And I may started tripping, and it's like, hold on. of course, they're not gonna back down. So before you know, we're back and forth. We're going back and forth at it, and the whole time, I went back and reread the message. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, I read too much into it.
My bad, because I read it wrong.
I think that's a huge statement to make, and there's no judgment here as far as dying for your respect. And so what I'm realizing is, for me, I can't make that statement. The only reason why I say that is because there's nothing that you do that gives me value.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Our friendship, our relationship, our family, courtship, those things, whatever you're doing is not gonna devalue me. So, for example, if you're disrespecting me, now that I'm older, I can say I'm not fighting because you say anything with words. Like fam said, like if you put your hands on me, then we probably have to tussle.
And that's what I mean as far as I'm willing to die for it. Because like I said, there's that line that you don't cross. And once you cross that line, I feel as if I'm being attacked. And I'm gonna have to defend myself.
So check this out though. So how do you do that when you're dealing with police? Because they habitual. I seen this in a movie. They habitual line crossers. How do you deal with that? Because now you've made a choice. Now some of them go the extra mile to disrespect you. How do you maintain in that situation versus another one that's not dealing with the police?
A long walk and a bunch of backwoods.
Okay, so you know how to get to your piece. Okay.
Man, and the police, it's a different subject, and I think that's actually why they feel as if they have the upper hand, right, because they can get away with things. It's a few police I would love to put my hands on. Okay. For instance, I had an incident one day. I was in downtown Sacramento, and I'm driving.
They notorious for cutting up.
My car was black rims, black tints, and the interior was black, and my black ass in it. So we 5 times black.
5 times black.
Now, mind you, I don't have a record. Nothing. I wouldn't lie. I'm not gonna sit here and lie like, man, I'd have been down and all.
Nah, none of that,
man.
None of that.
Nah, none of that, man. I'm square as Delaware.
Facts.
But I get pulled over. The guy, he looks at my license. He looks at me. He looks at my license. He looks at me. He goes back. He sits in the car for 15 minutes. And now more cars are pulling up. More police. And they're just running my name. And then another cop comes on my ID. And they're looking at me. They're looking at the ID. Looking at me. And they're looking at the ID. By this time, it's actually funny to me because I know there's nothing on this earth that you can possibly pin on me because I know I'm clean.
You're straight. Yeah,
I'm straight. Windex. Yeah. I'm straight. But just the fact that that they did it, I guess I would say that situation was more irritating and funny because it was a disrespect that kept me there for so long.
Yeah.
But it was just funny because it's like, ha, every black man is not a criminal. Right. Every black man is not a thug. Every black man doesn't sell drugs. Every black man is not a fool.
And every black man don't have a record.
Exactly. And within each race, we all have an idiot in each race, each sex, each whatever you want to call it.
Right.
We all have an idiot. That's
we all have
life.
A few of them.
What would life be without a few idiots?
Boring.
Exactly. But to me it was funny because it almost seemed like it hurt their feelings that they weren't able to pin a black man that looks like he's in the life and he's actually just living his life.
I've been in that situation several times, man. And I remember one time I got pulled over by some undercovers. And so when they pulled me over, I was doing Lyft and I had a BMW. And it was looking a lot nicer back then, you know what I'm saying? Like it was clean. And so I made a left and dude said, well, you see me pull the lights on, why did you make this left? I said, you're telling me that I was supposed to pull back into oncoming traffic, then you'll try to get me for trying to evade you. I said, that's not smart. I said, I pulled over because I was going down the street anyway, and you're in an all black on black and I didn't see you with your lights. So when I noticed your lights, I pulled over. So he's giving me a hard time. He says, oh, your lights is wrong and some other things. And so it's a guy over here with his hand on his pistol. And he's watching me while dude is running my business.
Always.
And I don't have a record either. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, square as Delaware, you know what I'm saying? Just straight as a pencil. So he's back there doing whatever he's doing. So I asked old boy, I was like, hey man, is there any, dude, why'd y'all pull me over? Oh, I wasn't looking at the computer. I'm like, come on man, y'all got more sense than this. I said, well, look, how about this? Is there any way I can call the people that I gotta pick up? Cause y'all making me lose money. When the guy finally came back, he gave me my information. He says, oh, your light must be working now because at first it was out. You should get that looked at. They probably put it in backwards. I said, and I'm thinking to myself, first of all, lights can't be put in backwards. They're not designed that way. I said, you know what, man, just give me my information. I gotta go, bro. They followed me for the 2 blocks till I got to the people. And then they drove by me real slow because they thought we had one. This is the thing that we got to do. And I was thinking about the respecting aspect of it because we get put in these positions all the time where we can pick and choose what we allow to get to us.
Yeah.
So if you're at work and somebody at work disrespects you, do you haul off and pop them in their mouth for clowning or going off? Or you see the severity of the consequence and you be like, okay, I'm going to let you slide, player, but watch your tone.
Yeah.
And then you're going about your business.
And even with that, especially with coworkers, we all got to clock out. If it's that serious, we all have to clock out. So, however you want to play this situation, we all got to clock out. But most of the time, it's not even that serious, man.
Ever.
You know, you just know not to deal with those kind of people or how to deal with those kind of people when it comes to that, when it comes to the level of respect or disrespect to where you even want to put your hands on them or go further. You just know how to deal with those people on the next round.
You know what I've seen? Have you ever heard of the 72-hour rule?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where they say, okay, if you're gonna be upset, if you still gonna be upset at this same level of intensity, all that stuff, 72 hours later, maybe you need to really address that issue. But if you look at certain circumstances and you be like, is it really that serious? Is it really worth me going to jail? Is it really worth me losing my cool, losing my temper, all those different things? If I'm still gonna be this mad 72 hours later, okay, maybe I need to address it. But some of that stuff we just need to let go. I think a lot of people don't like letting things go because they feel like in the moment they are justified to cut up.
You know what, man? The key word that you just said was in the moment. And I was just gonna say, man, I was just thinking that in that moment can ruin your life, man. And that goes with respect. It goes with sex. I mean, anything you can think of, that moment can possibly cost you the rest of your life.
Right.
That's why we have to sit back and really think and really reiterate what's going on. Yeah. And it can be a lot, man. That's a lot. That takes a lot of time and restraint just to stop and think about what's going on and if it's really worth it.
You know, I just really, off camera, I was talking to my cousin about just, I had a recent issue, and like, I'm a God-fearing man. There's certain things that like I just don't do. I don't allow myself to like super get out of character, but somebody really almost brought the ugly out of me, right? And it was one of those situations where I was getting cussed at like inches away from my face, and this stuff was happening all in front of my oldest daughter. And one of the things that happened, I had to hold my tongue, even though we got into like a shouting match. But when he got inches from my face, I was like, I can just go ahead and just hit him and just get it over with, right? And we can just go ham. But I said, okay, what am I teaching my child in front of me and her do, right? And I had just literally been preaching to them about self-restraint, self-control, addressing certain things or not addressing, what is important about addressing whatever. And that was one of them issues that took me there, and I could feel it, but yet I had to sit still, sit calm. And I'm glad I did it that way because it was showing them what self-restraint. And my daughter's boyfriend,
preach, man. Practice what you
man,
preach.
It's hard. My daughter's boyfriend came to me afterwards. He says, man, I would have been fighting. He said, I've never seen anybody hold that kind of self-restraint, even though it was such a heated match. And I sat there and I was like, oh, that's what's up. That was still a teaching moment, but it was showing me also my level of maturity because I was ready to fight. And I don't be fighting people. Like if I'm over here helping people left and right, what I look like fighting at my age? It don't make no sense, and it wasn't worth it. Especially when you get to the core of what it was all about in the first place. It was like, dude, I'm not trying to make you upset. What's your problem?
And you know, man, and sometimes it's not necessarily you.
I know it wasn't me on this one.
It can be a bad spirit that the other person is fighting.
Man.
And that and they're so flared up on the inside that the sound of a pin hitting the floor would just blow you through the roof, man. And that's that's self-restraint right there. Like you said, like what you did, that was self-restraint.
And that was hard, man.
That situation sounded like it could have escalated and went to something that man, you know, it could have been bad.
It was some threats and different things involved, and yet I had to hold my peace. Like, that was one of those situations where I think I was being tested and tempted at the same time. Tested to practice what I preach, and tempted to just go off, and then the consequences would have been somebody would have really, really been hurt, because the other person was thinking about getting weapons, and he probably went and grabbed something. And so it's a whole nother backstory, but bottom line was, recently, that was the hardest thing for me, to practice what I preached moments after I had just preached it and had to sit still. So we all deal with some kind of level of disrespect or respect, right? That's respect and honor. I want to do a segment with you on relationships and respect and how important that is in the household. Because I was reading one of my books, and I ain't gonna go into the segue of what I want to talk about next time, but there's a book I had called Keep Your Love On. So in that moment of me getting harassed and it just got real ugly, I had to keep my love on. My keep my love on is like, you know what, I'm not going to take it where you want to take it. Yeah. I respect you too much not to take it there. I love you too much not to take it there. And I love myself too much to even allow myself to get that far out of character.
Man, that's that takes a lot of restraint, man. And I definitely emphasize on that. Man, cause that is and some people know how to push a button and get under your skin, and that right there is that's a tough one to fight. That's a tough one to stay away from. And even like I said, man, those kind of people, you stay away from.
You do your best, man. Even if they family, even if they friends, you have to know where you are, because in those moments, like we were saying before, just in those moments, it can get so ugly. Things happen, and then you can't take those things back.
Yeah. And another thing that I think that we all have to realize and come to terms with is that not everyone's happy.
Facts, man.
And so,
speak on that.
And one sad spirit, one angry spirit, one bad soul can ruin a whole party. Man. So sometimes, man, when it comes down to the respect level and the restraint, you gotta learn how to walk away.
That right there can be hard for many. Yeah. So some of y'all that's listening right now, if you thinking about what we're talking about, where was a situation you knew better and you knew you could have walked away from that situation? Like you was like, nah, but my honor's at stake. You know what I'm saying? For me, when I think about before I ever get to a point where I want to pop off, I promise I'm thinking about, will this affect me? Will it affect my kids? Will it affect my living situation? What is the consequences of me losing my temper and losing my cool? And so many people lose it because they are dealing with their emotional issues. And so the moment, like you said, it can be a pin drop. It sets them off because emotionally they're unstable. And that's going to be a whole nother segment. We're going to talk about that stuff. But respect is like you said, respect is earned and not given, right?
Definitely. Definitely. And man, I mean, me personally, I give respect whenever you meet somebody. It's almost like when you go to school, they say everybody starts with the A.
Right.
Now, if you don't keep this A,
that's on you.
That's on you. So when I meet you, I have no reason to disrespect you because of what you have on, because of your race, because of your skin color, because of your sexual preference. I have no reason to disrespect you. Once you start to show me disrespect, or I see that you disrespect yourself, in a lot of cases, I've actually seen people disrespect people who appear to be less than them. Right. And
looking down at folks.
Exactly, and they start to disrespect. And that right there, I'd rather stay. I'm not going to take my time out of my day to disrespect you, to defend somebody that I possibly don't even know. But I will I'll give you 50 feet. I'll give you 50 feet.
And man, we can talk about this until the cows come home. Because even another aspect of respect, I think about us just being black men. You know what I'm saying? We are portrayed as monsters. We're portrayed as thugs. We're portrayed as deadbeats. We're portrayed as low lives and all these different things where we have to not only fight for respect in our home a lot of times because of societal norms or whatever, but we got to fight when we leave the door. We're looked at a certain way. People clutching their purses and I'm sitting here as, listen, y'all, I'm as square as they come. I always tell people I'm a square with rounded edges because I got a little spice to me because of where I was raised. But, you know, it sucks that we have to, this is the society that we live in. So honor and respect is not always just freely given. You know, people can know you a certain way, and then if one bad thing come out about you that they may not even know the full story, the first thing they want to do is prejudge. And it's like, really? My character doesn't speak for itself? And so we can keep going about honor and respect, but this would be a whole nother hour.
I will say before we end this, that at the end of the day, we all have a decision to make.
Facts.
So before you decide to act on the respect or disrespect, think about, like you said, think about the consequences, man. Especially if you have kids, even if you have your life going on and your life is just going, and your life is going good. You may not be rich, you may not be poor, but your life is going on.
Don't throw it away.
Don't throw it away. Don't throw it away, man. Because once you get in that little bit of trouble, it's hard to get out of it,
man.
And it doesn't necessarily mean jail wise. You know, there's a lot of brothers that can't go to certain parts of their own city due to the respect and disrespect, man. And I mean, me personally, it feel good to be free.
Man, I can go anywhere that I want to, and I don't feel guilty about being. You know, we got family members all over the place. You got family members as ex-gang members and all these different types of stuff, and we can still go to their house with no problems. With they set of friends. And so we have to get to a place of knowing what respect looks like for us, but also saying, how far will I go for that respect? And does it really matter what you think about it? Because to me personally, people can say what they want, man. I don't really care. As long as it don't bother me and my kids and those kind of things, I'm straight. So it's your boy K Still.
Man, this Black Ray once again for round 2.
Melanated Rhythm.
Man, follow up on us, man. Hit the like button.
Subscribe.
There we go.